From the Night Shift Crew Studios in the DC metro area, this is The Statement Show. I'm your host, Zach Chahey, along with my co-host, Terry James. We're covering sports, technology, entertainment, news, and everything in between. The lights are on.
It's Sunday, August 5th. Welcome back to another episode of The Statement Show. I'm Terry James.
And I'm Zach Chahey.
Yeah, Zach, today we're talking many things. We got the Olympics, we got Verizon news, upcoming movies. But first, man, it has been an exciting few weeks for us. Wouldn't you agree? I mean, now we have thestatementshow.com going live. We have 4 affiliates added to the show now. I mean, this has been amazing.
Absolutely. We've worked a little while on the website. We've got a blog where it's kind of tech news, but more with our spin on our opinions on everything, of course. Wouldn't be any fun if we didn't put our own opinions in there. Everything's been kind of coming along. Like I said, we got some affiliate advertisers that we'll be talking about in a little bit here. I guess more importantly, you just went on vacation, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I did. Feeling refreshed, ready to go, man.
So where is it you went exactly?
Well, we flew into Seattle. And then we went about another hour and a half north up to an area called the San Juan Islands up in Washington State. Actually, a lot closer to Canada, up into British Columbia, a lot closer up into that area than it is to Seattle. But yeah, basically what we did was we caught the flight from the DC area, went out to Seattle, rented a car, all that kind of great experience. About an hour and a half up, caught a ferry. And then was about another hour and a half on the ferry until we got over to San Juan Islands.
Let me get this straight. You put your car on a ferry for an hour and a half?
This is correct. We put the car on a ferry for about an hour and a half. And this is not your standard ferry. These things are enormous. I mean, like 3-decker, heated, indoor, got the whole, like food thing. I mean, it's incredible that these ferries and the scenery going over to the San Juan Islands, beautiful. I mean, just amazing.
You're talking like this thing's a cruise ship. So,
no.
All right. So you're talking like you went to Seattle.
That's correct.
When I think vacation, I think Disney World. I think Europe, Florida.
Right.
What's in Seattle? Give me a little hit here. What gravitated you to go to the Seattle?
Yeah, well, here's what happened. My wife's best friend, she went out there, and they got talking. She threw up some pictures on Facebook and did nothing but talk great about it. So we did some, kind of did some research on it, looked at a lot of things up there and realized that we could, cause when we go on vacation, we do a lot of things that have to do with wildlife. We like to do a lot of things animal wise. We've swam with the stingrays and the dolphins, et cetera, et cetera. But this one, we wanted to go out whale watching with the orca whales. We did a kayak trip out there that was with like, the sea lions, the seals, bald eagles, the deer, so many other things. And it was just an amazing trip out there. But to answer that question, what gravitated us towards it was my wife had her best friend really kind of let us know about it, and we were not disappointed. It was beautiful. If you're looking for a trip that is away from the hustle and bustle, because like yourself, we're used to, the Disney Worlds and the cruises and the problem with Disney World, although I love Disney, it's an every single day we were doing something, and by 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night, your feet are hurting, and then you got to wake up at 6, 7 o'clock the next morning and do it all over again. And everything's so spread out. So when we went,
I agree. I've been there 3 times. I plan on going back next year.
Right.
I definitely know what you mean. It seems like, you go from you're going on vacation, but then it seems like you plan these trips and then it's like almost another type of stress because you worry every day about getting to this new thing you have planned, whether
exactly.
Every day you want to hit a park and you want to do this and be done by a certain time. You want to see the light show, but that means you have to stay there all day. And so, yeah, I get what you're saying.
And out there, we woke up when we wanted to. We literally had like a day or two where there was anything actually planned. We had to get some reservations for the whale watching, and we got some reservations for the kayaking tour that we took while we were out there. But otherwise, We woke up when we wanted to. We went and did things when we wanted to versus, like you said, with Disney World, you want to be there when the gates open. You want to be there right as soon as you want to be one of the first couple of people in there just because your inner child has you running through the gates
sure.
just the same as your kids.
I'm holding my daughter's hand, but at that point, I feel like I'm 12 years old myself.
It's greed. So, you know it just as well as I do. You're telling your wife and you're telling your family that you're going there for her, right?
Yeah,
or in my case, for my boys. But it's not. It's for me. It's totally for me. You know.
Sure.
I will say this though. When we did the fireworks show, when my little one was, I guess, 2 or 3 when we first took him, you know, and he was up on my shoulders and up on my oldest son's shoulders, and the fireworks are going off over Cinderella's castle. It was, it does kind of bring a tear to your eye in your own little way, you know, because you can remember doing it when you were little, or you know, and you kind of look at it saying, man, this is just amazing to be able to bring my kids here. But when it comes to everything else, it's sort of a greed factor that you're the one that's excited about riding the roller coasters or the teacups or Dumbos, sure. Whatever it is.
There was plenty of things there. The Star Wars experience, the Indiana Jones stunt show. These were incredible. Just nothing that's, I guess, why I like Florida so much is there's so many different things there to do. You've got
Sure.
Universal, you got SeaWorld. But in my opinion, SeaWorld is a one-day thing. That's why they discount the tickets so much after the first day. And once you've been there once, the second time you go, the next time you go, it almost seems like nothing's really changed. And it's almost like I've been here, done that. I can tell you this time we're not even going to go to SeaWorld. It just, we went there twice already and it just, nothing's really changed. So, the only thing I think I would want to do is at Discovery Cove where you go to swim with the dolphins and you make a whole day of it. That's a little more expensive, but I just checked it out recently. It's not all that bad. So, I think somewhere between the $250 range per person, but they only allow so many people in the park at one time. Right. So, but anyway, getting back to you on the Seattle thing, I know we did a little bit of we both have Samsung Galaxy Nexus phones through Verizon.
Right.
And we did a little bit of the Skype thing. Was it Skype or was it the talk through Google?
No, that was Skype.
Yeah, you're right. We did Skype. It wasn't bad, but it's not like what you'd expect.
Yeah.
4G, it's kind of like skips a little bit.
Let me put it to you like this, Zach. When I was out there, I had no cell phone service whatsoever. I mean, when I was out there, literally no one. My mom has like one of the track phones. Everybody in my family has the Verizon. And, you know, I was speaking to a couple of other people out there that had, I think it was Sprint or AT&T, I can't remember, but nobody has cell phone coverage out there. So it was just, when they say Verizon goes everywhere, let me tell you, Verizon does not go out that far.
Well, Verizon is known to have the best as far as, they're considered the premium. Mm-hmm. AT&T and Verizon are the top 2-tier carriers in the United States. They are considered the premium carriers, and they do command a high price for their service, unfortunately, which is what I'm getting ready to talk about here in a minute. But we did talk about, we did a little bit of the Skype thing using our phones.
Yep.
The nice thing about how the front-facing camera is you can talk face-to-face, but it's really cool because you're on the go, you're on vacation, you want to talk to somebody or show somebody something. You can actually in mid, talk, you can flip the camera around and you can basically film live what you're seeing.
Right.
So the person can get a chance to see what you're seeing. It's almost like you're doing a live TV show on the spot. Now, the technology needs a little updating yet. It's a little skipped from here to here, but my wife has an iPhone and we try to call my daughter who's actually on vacation with her grandparents in Florida right now. She wanted to do the iPhone's feature of the same thing, which is kind of like Skype. It's called,
FaceTime.
FaceTime, yeah, that's right. It didn't work. It says you have to be on Wi-Fi. So basically, they will only allow you to do it on Wi-Fi, which kind of, to me, defeats the purpose because it's kind of
Completely.
like if I had the Wi-Fi, I'd be doing it on my computer where it's much better quality.
Exactly.
So I think it's a little outdated. Now, I hear the iPhone 5 is supposed to have an updated feature where you should be able to do over the air. But now, here's where I get into the next thing. My wife's complaining that her iPhone is outdated. It's starting to give her a little bit of problems, but I think it's just kind of nitpicking. But she is running out of memory.
Sure.
My daughter's using an old Razr phone just so because we had closed our phone line off and we use only cell phones now, which is what a lot of families do to save money. Well, between my daughter myself and my wife when upgrades come due. Now myself, I'm going to wait till next year because I don't see the point in upgrading my phone. There's not anything out there that's gravitating me towards a new phone.
I
but
agree.
Her phone, she has an iPhone at 32 gigabyte, and she has the iPhone 4, not the 4S, but the 4. When you upgrade your iPhone, in my opinion, it's worth waiting a generation to go to the next step. She's going for the next. I kind of pushed her on waiting till September to find out about the new iPhone, the iPhone 5. And the iPhone 5, she'll probably go for the 64 gig version, which is going to be on a contract probably about $400. Then we'll give the iPhone 4 that she has and give that one to my daughter, which means we will all three have smartphones. Now here's the kicker: Verizon's new family share plan. Very expensive. If you go online and investigate it, you can go, by the way, to thestatementshow.com, our website, our new website. You go to the blog section, and you'll see I have a new article up there about the family share plan. And explain a little bit. I kind of skim it. I don't get real in-depth, but can I give you the idea so you can go to their website and see it for yourself? But here's basically how it's going to work. Okay. For a smartphone, they want you to pay $40 a month access fee. Now, you get unlimited minutes and unlimited texting. Now, with 3 smartphones, that's $120 a month. That's not $40 for all the phones. That's $40 per smartphone. There's $120. Now, you're thinking, oh, that's not bad. But that's no data yet. Now, they want you to pay for data that all 3 phones are going to share. 1 gig starts at $50. That's 1 gigabyte for $50. I have an unlimited plan. I'm almost at 2 gigabytes now. My cycle doesn't even end until tomorrow on Monday the 6th, August 6th. So that means that I'll probably need at the bare minimum, I'm going to have at least 2 gigabytes. That's $60. But wait a minute. That's no data for the other 2 phones yet. So I have to have enough to make sure that they cover. So right now my wife uses between 200 to 500 megabytes a month. She's not real heavy. My daughter, even though she'll have a smartphone, I'm probably not going to let her use it for that right now. It's more for emergency purposes, but it still has to have access to data because it is a smartphone. So we're looking at probably doing the 4 gigabyte plan, which is $70 a month. $120, $70 a month. That's right, you're at $190. But wait, there's no taxes, there's no fees added on that yet. So you're probably looking at another $20, $25 taxes and fees, $30 somewhere in that range. So you're looking at a $220 bill. Sure. I currently pay around $161 now. So as you can see, that increase is pretty steep. Right. I'm in no hurry to do it. But the problem is, if I want to keep my unlimited plan, or if my wife wants to keep her unlimited data plan, which I'd love to be able to do, she would have to buy the next version of the iPhone without a subsidized pricing.
Right.
Which means instead of $400, she's probably going to pay between $800 and $900. Now, our phones, if you pay for them without a contract, you're looking at between $750 for the phone. Right. These plans are pretty expensive, and unfortunately, everybody eventually is going to have to go to these plans. I'm not looking forward to that at all.
No, that's steep. That's
how many? I mean, look, if you go over for every gigabyte you go over, it's $15.
Sure.
So how many people would have smartphones in your family right now, and how many people are on yours?
Well, I have 2 that have smartphones, myself and my middle son. My oldest son and my wife do not have the smartphones, but
they do have cell phones, correct?
We have 4 cell phones on our plan right now.
Are they like flip phones?
Well, one is a flip phone and the other is just a standard regular. I don't know what you would even consider that. Just a regular phone. Right, just a regular.
So
phone,
regular flip phones, which they're calling regular phones, those are $30 a month. So it's only $10 less than a smartphone.
Right.
So you're still paying. Now, here's what most people don't understand. They don't mind giving you unlimited minutes. They don't mind giving you unlimited texting because these are the features that people have not stopped, but have really slowed down on. And these were the big money makers for Verizon. If you can't get people to use the minutes, and you can't get people to do the texting, and they know that data is where everything else is going. Right now I'm using Google. I don't have a texting plan, but I text all the time because I use Google. I have an alternate number, and that's the number I text with, and it uses the data plan. Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of people do that now. Sure. And Verizon realizes they're losing a lot of money this way. So what they've done is they kind of reversed the roles now. Now they're willing to give everything else away, but make you pay a premium price for data. Everybody will go back to texting a lot because why not? You basically have unlimited for the price you're already paying. So if you want, for you right now, let's say you wanted 10 gigs a month, it's going to cost you $100 just for the data.
Right.
On top of all the other price.
Well, let me ask you this, Zach, because my oldest son is set to go over. He's been kind of flip flopping back and forth. Do I stay with Verizon, get another phone through those guys, or go with one of the, prepaid jobs? So what happened was the other day while we were out, we were looking around. We were looking at some of the Virgin Mobile prepaid. Here's, by no means do we have any affiliation with Virgin Mobile, but I just wanted to kick off a few things. $35 a month would get you 300 anytime minutes, but it gives you unlimited messaging, data, et cetera, et cetera. $45 a month, 1,200 anytime minutes, all unlimited messaging, data, et cetera. $55 a month gets you unlimited everything. No contract. You figure the cost for the phone itself is going to be initially higher due to no contract. But the key words in there are, there's no contract. Which, does that make it worth it or not? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on what you find important. Like you said, no contract. That's the key word there for a lot of people. No contract. They figure that's going to save them a lot of money. But then there's the price. Remember when I said premium service? AT&T, Verizon are considered premium services. Verizon has the largest network out there. And the 4G LTE service, which is a high-speed internet, putting it in more cities every month. It's going to have full coverage within the next 2 years. You're going to only be going to get 4G instead of 3G. Now, it cuts between the two, but soon it'll only be 4G. And it's pretty fast. It's very reliable. Verizon got a very reliable service. AT&T is the second most reliable service. That's, of course, my opinion. But it's also been proved that they have the largest map as far as coverage in the United States. Right. Track phones, mobile phones, like that you pay for, prepaid phones, unless it's something like an iPhone or a regular phone that you've already prepaid for, these are not considered to be of the highest quality. You're not buying a really high quality phone. You're kind of buying like a gumball machine phone is the way I kind of look at it.
Right.
Something that's prepaid minutes. They don't have a very good coverage rate either.
Virgin Mobile is Sprint.
Yeah, it's Sprint, but they don't have the same coverage.
Okay.
It's different. If you look at it, why would Sprint give it away? Plus, Sprint has unlimited plans too. They do the same thing.
Okay.
Their coverage is not as good. They have a lot more dropped calls. Their data they don't mind giving data away. That's one thing they have to bring in. But you also have to look at it this way too. Sprint, they're basically they're not making as much money as they used to make. They're not profitable like they used to be, and I don't see them existing in their current form. In other words, I don't see them giving unlimited plans the way they have right now much longer.
Okay.
Not if they expect to be a viable company within the next 3 years. RIM, they're doing just as bad. RIM isn't doing much better because their technology's behind, and now all the smartphones are out there. Touchscreen is a thing, and RIM just waited way too long. RIM being Research in Motion out of Canada. All these plans that we're talking about, and we're talking about the coverage areas, they're not as good as a Verizon or AT&T. Sprint, which took over Nextel. You have Virgin Mobile, prepaid. You have some of these other ones, I believe Cricket.
Boost Mobile. Right.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. They're considered lower quality because they don't have as good a network. So, like I said, when you go with Verizon, you're paying for a premium service because you have the larger network, more reliable service, better customer service. There are a lot of things you're paying for. Oh, I did forget one little thing. If you want to use your phone, if it has the capability as a router on the go, in other words, like a MiFi or a hotspot, you can it's free to tether your phone to another device. In other words, you could use your laptop wirelessly with your phone and use your phone as the router and get data on the go. That's free now with part of this new share plan. There's no access fee per month, and it just accesses your current data plan. Problem being, of course, you don't want to overuse your data. Now, of course, they give you data calculators to kind of keep track of what's going on. But it's going to get more and more expensive, and this isn't going anywhere. And everybody who thinks they're going to go to AT&T and just go to one of their plans, AT&T already announced that they are going to do the same plan. Look for it in the next month or two here. They're going to be announcing they're going to have the same type of plan, and the pricing structure is going to be pretty similar. They waited for Verizon to bring theirs out so they could see what was coming and see how people reacted. You're not really going to escape this pricing structure. Everybody's going to be doing it, and I don't see Sprint is going to keep their current unlimited plan much longer either. Otherwise, they're just going to be losing money hand over fist. There's new phones coming out all the time, so
sure.
It's hard not to want to go get that new, flashy toy. Me and you, how long did we stare at the Galaxy?
Right. We were staring at that. Oh my goodness, how many YouTube videos did we pull up? At least for 2 months straight.
Of course.
And then what was it about? A month later, the new one came out, and we were sitting around going, wow, that one's got the bigger screen. I like that one.
Exactly. And, I mean, the Samsung Galaxy S3 is out now, and it's basically an improved version of what we're using now. It's smooth. We're waiting for our update called Jelly Bean. It's a 4.1 update that has been released by Google. We're waiting for Verizon to bring it out to our phones. And basically, it's not going to be a lot of differences as far as what you see, but the enhancement is going to they have something called Project Butter. And it's just giving your phone a smoother action. Animation is going to be smoother. They've rewritten the code a little bit to make the phone faster. So it's going to fix a lot of little things under the hood. And you won't see so much visually. It's going to be more under the hood fixes, and you're going to see a lot of things being resolved and fixed. And some of the complaints that have been taken into account. So they're going to try to get to those. And I'm just waiting to see this update come out. But, I mean, there's... like I said, the Samsung Galaxy S3, they've announced the new Samsung Note, which should be announced sometime on the 29th of August here. Reuters reported on Thursday, August 2nd, that Samsung's planning to unveil the next generation Galaxy Note, commonly referred to as the Galaxy Note 2. It's supposed to have an unbreakable screen, 5.3-inch Super AMOLED display. So it's got a quad-core CPU. It'll have Jelly Bean OS already installed. It's just these phones are getting really big. And I mean, I think this is the one that had a stylus. It came out on AT&T already. Okay. So this is the next version, but it's getting to the point where these phones are so big, you're going to need like the side pockets in your pants just to hold them.
We've often joked that our tab is going to be about the same size as our tablet before long. They're getting huge, but here's the bad part. The bigger the screen, the more and more I love them. I hate to admit that, but it's like our whole entire reason for grabbing the Galaxy was, wow, look at how big that screen is. And then the next one comes out, you're like, wow, look how big that screen is. For the longest time, it was like the smaller phones, they were huge. They were popular. Now all of a sudden, the bigger the phone, the better the bigger the phone, the better.
Well, I think it's because they've gotten smaller. They got smaller and they got smaller. And then all of a sudden, the more powerful CPUs came out, and it was having that computer in your hand, and it got to the point where people were like, I'm doing a lot more mobile computing now. Now I need a bigger phone. Why? I need that screen to be a little bigger. So right. As the screen got bigger, it got more productivity out of it. Now it's kind of like finding that happy medium of what's too big or what's too small. Now, if they're Galaxy phones, the Verizon Galaxy phones, they're the Nexus phone. It's a really nice size, but I would like to have something bigger. And honestly, as stupid as it sounds, this Galaxy Note 2 with a 5.3-inch screen sounds fantastic.
Right.
How often do you really put it up to your ear anymore anyway?
Never.
And even when I do, if I'm in my car, you have a Bluetooth connectivity or you have a Bluetooth earpiece if you're going to be doing a lot of conversation. So to me, it almost seems as though that would be the way to go anyway. Having a bigger screen means better productivity, means you can see more of the screen. You can watch movies easier. It's a little easier on the eyes. It seems like the natural thing to go to. You want to have that bigger screen.
It's all well and good, but the problem is we're going to have to carry it in a backpack because it's not going to fit in our pockets any longer,
I'm okay with that. So, I don't know. I just think as the phones keep getting bigger, more people will keep buying them. They're trying to, this Galaxy, I expect it to be probably $300 with a contract. It's going to have 16 or 32 gig versions, probably, maybe 64. I don't know yet. They haven't announced it yet. That's another issue. You have a lot of people announcing or putting rumors out there like they're facts. But until the company really comes out and says this is what it is, it's just speculation. And a lot of the news corporations try to get their story out there first. They're speculating, and half the time none of these rumors are even true. So, and Apple is famous for that. They never announce anything till the day of their conference, and then that's when it comes out. And then you get to find out how all the news reporters were wrong about half the things that they were announcing. The company officially comes out and announces what it is. It's kind of hard to take anything as fact.
Right.
But anyway, I did want to talk about one of our affiliates here, Auto Parts Warehouse. If you want to do something on your car, it's a lot cheaper to just go get the part and try to do it yourself if you can. Obviously, there are things that are too hard to do on your own. I was looking at replacing the EGR valve in my Saturn. Auto Parts Warehouse has a very wide selection. They were established in 1995. They're one of the top online auto part accessory distributors in the United States. Right now, they have a really great deal on brake discs. You get 8% off for every $100 you spend, and they have free shipping. It's valid till September 30th of this year, and if you go to our website at thestatementshow.com, click on the link, help out the show a little bit, and go ahead and order whatever you need. They have just about everything you can think of. They have a catalog with over 550,000 auto parts and accessories, and aftermarket manufacturers to fill all domestic and foreign makes and models. They have price match guaranteeing, free shipping on orders over $50, and flexible payment plans on extended warranty options. Auto Parts Warehouse makes sure your order's processed and delivered instantly anywhere in the country so you can get back on the road in no time at all. So I'm definitely going to order some parts through there. I recommend anybody else to go to our website at thestatementshow.com, click on the link, and order whatever you need for your car. You won't be disappointed.
Absolutely. Hey, Zach, as we transition into sports, I know normally we like to kind of keep our emails towards the end of the show, but Dan from Mineral Springs, North Carolina says to us, "Great show, guys. I have a quick question. I heard the people who win medals actually have to pay taxes on those medals. Is this true?" Now, have you heard anything regarding that at all, Zach?
Actually, I have. Ironically enough, as you're watching the Olympics on TV here, and it's hard not to. It's a really big story. You listen to how some of these athletes had struggled to get where they are and how they spend a lot of time training. I mean, obviously, you know they spend a long time training, years to get where they are. And you see some of them emotionally breaking down when they make the smallest of mistakes because they know it's going to cost them. Just to know that some of the families are doing everything they can financially, even put their kids in these programs. And then you hear the stories about how they're going to have to pay taxes on some of these medals. Now, what I've heard, what I've seen, and what I've read, they're giving examples of $25,000 worth for the gold medal. Oh. It's $15,000 for the silver and $10,000 for the bronze. And now the U.S. wants you to pay a tax on that. Basically, it's an income tax on the medals. Now, the USOC has several national governing bodies for individual sports that pays for medals. USA Wrestling, they pay up to $250,000 for a gold medal, and USA Cycling pays $100,000. So you think about the income they're getting from that. You have all that tax you have to pay. There is a senator from Florida, is a Republican Senator Mark Rubio. He's proposed this week to exclude Olympic medal winners from paying taxes on thousands of dollars in cash bonuses that are attached to their top finishes. You have some of the more top athletes like Michael Phelps, some of the higher end athletes who had said they don't mind paying taxes because they've already made millions in endorsements.
Sure.
So they can afford to pay for the endorsement. Through their endorsements, they can afford to pay the taxes on the medals. But what about all the younger girls, the younger men who've taken part and they've won these high medals and high honors, and now they come back and they're going to face a high tax bill, or their parents are going to face it, and they've already kind of put themselves out putting them in these programs. So
because basically what they were saying was at the 35% income tax rate, the bronze medalist would owe the IRS a total of $3,500 per medal. That's outrageous.
Now, you gotta think here. All these other countries are paying their athletes to be in these programs. A lot of these countries pay the athletes to be in these programs and to represent their country. The United States, the government does not pay. It's basically done on donors people making, donations to help the programs get going, but the government's not backing them. So when you factor in the United States and how many of our athletes win gold, silver, bronze medals, I mean, we're really, if you look, you see we win a lot of these medals. So I feel kind of bad for a lot of them. Some of them are actually getting some good cash prizes. They shouldn't have to be penalized because they're winning. And that's basically how I feel. Something has to be done. And I guess it's a blanket statement in a way. Maybe there's some kind of law they can pass that unfortunately, we have one of the most complicated tax codes in the world. You have to get some guy, you have to pay somebody, an accountant to do your taxes. It's ridiculous. So,
right. Well, there was, I was reading one of the reports and one of the people said that it was no different from winning Wheel of Fortune or the lottery. Our Olympic medalists, our Olympic athletes, are compared to someone that goes on Wheel of Fortune. That's absurd.
It's something very prideful. It helps. It shows it's your patriotic duty as far as you're going out there representing your country. We all have a lot of pride by saying Michael Phelps won all these medals. The last thing you should be doing is, when he comes back, is having to pay tax on all these for something he's done to represent the country.
Especially when some of them are the one swimmer thinks she was 15, another one was 17. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Think about all the medals that Michael Phelps has won. What is it? 18, 22, 50, 60,000? I don't know, something like that.
He's got 21 medals now.
It's ridiculous. He's considered one of the best swimmers in the world. He's represented the country twice. They're already talking about trying to get him to go back, but he has said he's done. He's done everything he's tried to accomplish. Mm-hmm. He said I watched an interview with him today. His role model was a basketball player. Can you guess who I'm talking about?
Oh, geez, I don't know. Does it rhyme with Michael and Jordan?
Yeah, possibly. he that was somebody he looked up to because of the goal settings that he had. Sure. Of course, everybody else said, well, Michael Jordan couldn't stay away either. He eventually went back and played because he had that competitive edge. Right. So I guess there's always that chance that he could decide later on that he would like to try. But I guess I can understand, when you spend so much time traveling and so much time competing, after a while, maybe he does get a little old. Maybe it's time for him to make a step back.
I honestly think, just listening to an interview that I heard from him last night, it sounds to me, again, like you said, everybody can kind of look at it, what Brett Favre retired, 100 times and came back. But not to say that Phelps will or won't, because I have no idea. But here's just my opinion. I think that if nothing else, he's going to get paid really, really well to go to Rio next year and be an analyst for the swim competition. And I think he's going to realize, wait a minute, I can go out on top, and now I can sit around and make my millions by going over here and analyzing swim, which I'm the greatest ever at. I don't have to tarnish anything right now. I don't, because if he goes back to Rio, he'll be 30, 31, I guess, at the time. What if he goes over there and doesn't win any medals whatsoever? Then everybody's going to look at him and go, oh, well, he's a washed up has-been. He should have just retired. Kind of like Lochte. We look at him, and he was talking all this garbage right before he went over, and he said, I'm going to do this. I'm better than Phelps. And not to say that he hasn't done good for the amount of stuff that you've been talking before, the amount of shit talking that you had. Really, you've kind of been a bust overall.
Oh, I agree.
So, you're going to sit there and say that you're better than Phelps and that you're going to whip up on him, but yet really, you haven't done much of anything. So I don't know. I don't mind people that have a high opinion of themselves, and it's easy to hate on Phelps. The easiest thing in the world to do is sit around and say that he's not going to, because let's be honest, going into the Olympics, everybody said, oh, well, I heard he's lazy. And then another one of his teammates said that he depends on his athletic ability more than he does his training. But yet, he's still winning and winning and winning. So, whether it's athletic ability and the whole, last Olympics, right after the last Olympics, he tweeted out that picture of him with the bong. Whatever. Look, I'll tell you right now,
We really don't know how that came to be anyway.
Who knows? That could have just been just a mess. I don't. Did anybody? Was he ever caught? Was there ever like a? Because I mean I don't remember anything. Did he ever test positive for anything? Because I never saw anything. Did you see anything?
No. And for all we know, they took that picture. Somebody sat in his lap, or somebody put it in his lap. It was kind of a joke picture. We don't know that he was doing anything, but we know how sometimes the media gets carried away because it's a top story. So I don't know how any of that went down.
Right. He apologized for it. It's over. Now he's back to winning 1 billion medals and everybody's happy all over again. Had he had the bong picture and then, so-and-so said that he was lazy and then Phelps came in and won maybe like 2 bronze medals and that's it, then everybody would have said, oh, well, he's a nobody now. But factually speaking, he's the greatest swimmer to ever have hit the pool ever. And that's...
And everybody knows, and he's a household name. Everybody knows
right.
who Michael Phelps is. I mean, we're going to see him on the Wheaties box. He's getting endorsements. He's probably going to make over $100 million in his
right.
career.
Just on endorsements.
In endorsements.
Yeah. Not to mention the millions he's going to make whatever else he decides to do. Whether that's announcing or whatever. I mean, come on. He's fine. I think that, I had read an article there this past week where it said that he had sold his Baltimore condo and he took a little bit of a hit, like a couple $100,000 hit. I don't think that's hurting Michael Phelps. That would hurt you and I, but that's not going to hurt Michael Phelps. I think he's going to be okay.
I would like to take this time, one more time here to bring up another affiliate from our website. If you go to, thestatementshow.com, where you can look at our blog and our affiliates and see what else you can do to help out the show and maybe get a great deal. There's a program that I use on my cell phone. I've actually turned you on to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Keeper Security. It's from a company called CallPod. It's a function where you can add passwords to a program. You basically install it, put in one password, and then you can add all your passwords for email addresses. Think of all the programs you use online or all the other applications you use where you have to remember passwords. So it's gotten kind of out of hand. You can't possibly remember all these passwords. So there is a program called Keeper Security that I use. And all you have to do is remember one password. It's on my mobile phone. It's on my PC. It's on my tablet. They all communicate to each other. They sync. And it's a way of remembering all your passwords and having them on the go. It's a fantastic program. I can't recommend it enough. Keeper Security Incorporated creates the world's most downloadable password security and management software for mobile devices and computers. It's available on all mobile phones, tablets, computers, and millions of people trust Keeper. So go ahead, give it a try, download it, right back. Let us know how you like it. It's a fantastic application. Like I said, you put this on your phone. You can try it for free on the Android App Store and the iPhones. It's available on all iPhones, all Android phones. I even believe it's available for RIM. But you put it on your phone, you like it, right?
Oh man, look, you know what, Zach? There has been times where you and I have been talking and you say, hey, look at this app, look at that app. And I'm like, I don't think so. You kept telling me about it. And for whatever reason, I
believe it was because you couldn't remember passwords that I had to keep giving you you could get into our own website.
Well, I procrastinated. And then finally I said, you know what? Because that's exactly what happened. I kept looking at you going, hey, what was the password for that? And finally I said, you know what? Just going to put this thing on. I'm going to check it out. And, now that I have it on there, I literally have everything ever on it. It is easily one of my favorite apps on my phone. And I've even, spoken to my kids about it, which, with an app like this, it's a little bit harder sell to a 16 or 17-year-old kid. But he looked at it, he was like, you know what, Dad, that is actually pretty cool. I'll give you that one. I like that one. So for someone like us who has a lot of passwords, here's the issue. Here's my biggest issue with this, Zach. Everybody always says, well, I only have one password for everything. I don't know if they're actually listening to what they say.
Well, with the way people are stealing your identification, the way they're stealing passwords, this is the worst possible thing to do. And you need to make your passwords more complicated. I can't suggest that enough to people. I can't stress it enough. You have to make your passwords hard. Combinations of letters, number signs, uppercase, lowercase, and that makes it basically impossible to remember unless it's something you type every day. But then the more obscure ones you're never going to remember. Well, this program not only allows you to create what basically like a filing cabinet for all of your stuff, all your passwords, all your screen names, and notes that you would need to keep with each profile. Sure. It also has a dice configuration. So you basically click on roll the dice, and it will give you a password, and it's a complicated password. Maybe not too long, but it has all kinds of combinations. It's not a word that a program with a dictionary sequence can find. So it's going to be a hard password. All you have to do is remember one password, and that's to get into this. And if you lose your phone and somebody else tries to get into it, they only have 3 tries, and it self-destructs off the phone. And you still have access to it through your own PC. So you can get a hold of Keeper, let them know your phone was taken, and try to reinstall the program, get a new password, and do a recovery. So it's a fantastic program, and it's not very expensive at all.
No, and not only that, Zach, but there's also, I noticed that the password thing is great, but I don't know if you're like me. I have a hard enough time with my own Social Security, but there's also times where I need for my kid's Social Security number, and that's not just something I carry around in my wallet. That, I want that to be protected to the fullest. So there's information that I can put in that particular app, and at any given time I can go in there and I can pull up their social or whatever really secure information that I want to put in there. I honestly I can't stress this app enough. It's an amazing app. It literally is nothing but going to thestatementshow.com, going to to our affiliates and clicking on that. And man, you will not be disappointed. Give it a quick look, and you will not be disappointed. I can tell you that.
Absolutely. Go to thestatementshow.com, hit the affiliate link that says Call Pod for Keeper Security, and give it a shot today. So, movies.
Yeah.
You saw The Dark Knight Rises.
Last night. Yep.
And since
I did.
Yeah, exactly. So let me know. I haven't seen it. I'm a Batman fan, and probably won't see this in the theater either way. I do not go to the movies very often. There is a movie coming that I definitely want to go, and I'll get into that in a minute. But let's first hear your little review here of The Dark Knight Rises.
Well, let me put it to you like this, Zach. You say that you never go to the movies. I hardly ever go to anything IMAX or anything, and which this one I did not see in IMAX. I'll state that right from the beginning. We have a movie theater very close to us that they have what's called the VIP. And the VIP basically is like the bigger chairs, so you kind of get in there. It's got like recliners and big massive seats, because I'm not a little guy, so these things are always nice. And you're 6'5" and some change there. So, these seats are really, really nice. You don't have to kind of look over everybody's head. Everybody's kind of ducked down a little bit. So it was an amazing atmosphere, first of all. Okay. So then I go in there and I'm thinking, how in the hell are they going to top The Dark Knight? Because here's the thing. I've read some reports. 99% of them have been mostly glowing. There has been some that have said that they felt a little underwhelmed when they left out of there. Let me start by saying this. Okay. I'm going to tell you this straight out. Nobody in that movie or probably any other Batman movie will ever give a Heath Ledger performance. Okay. That's just simply not possible. I'm not saying that The Dark Knight was the greatest movie ever, but his performance was ridiculous. However, Michael Caine in this movie was phenomenal.
So he actually had a higher end role? I mean, because I can count on one hand how many minutes he was in the last movie.
Here's the thing. No, I will not say that. The parts that he is in this movie are so compelling that you're going to love. And I don't want to give anything. I'm not going to go any kind of spoiler alert, nothing like that. I just want to say this. It's literally Oscar worthy. His emotion. Yes, absolutely. His emotions with Batman, with Bruce Wayne, however way you want to put that, amazing. He played a great role. Morgan Freeman, plays his normal role. But then you also have, Anne Hathaway.
Morgan Freeman is Lucius Fox, by the way. So you have Anne Hathaway.
Right.
How was she?
Right. She was amazing. She played the character perfectly. She kicked so much. Yes. She kicked so much ass in that movie and honestly to me did a better job than Michelle Pfeiffer did, when she did. So, I mean, to me, as the suspected cat burglar, she came in, did an amazing job. And Tom Hardy as Bane. Unbelievable. I mean, let me put it like this. if you know anything about Bane, if you know anything about Batman and Bane's character, in this one, he was kind of tough to understand. So he sounded mumbled, kind of sounded distorted, which was all part of the character. His character demanded so much attention because of what he said and how he said it. Not because you kind of had to listen a little bit just due to the fact that, it was a bit distorted the way they had him set up, but you literally were just on the edge of your seat because his character was so powerful. The cinematography to the movie, it could not have been any better. Like I say, it was shot in IMAX. Again, I didn't see it in IMAX. I just saw it in standard version, but it was beautiful. I urge everyone to see it. And I'm not going to lie to you. If my kids told me today that they wanted to go see it again, I would go today and see it again. It was that great. Better than The Dark Knight, but there was no one performance such as Heath Ledger. And I'm not saying that, and that's all up for debate too. Many people have, Heath Ledger wouldn't have become popular if he hadn't. Look, man, I don't care if the man is dead or whether he was alive, if he's still alive, whatever the case may be. His part in that movie, his character was phenomenal in The Dark Knight.
So you're saying his performance, you love this performance.
Oh,
I thought it was good. I guess I'm just not the fine connoisseur of performances as some people are. I feel like it was just a little over the top. I think a little bit of because he passed away, I don't wish ill on the man, but I think sometimes people have a tendency to kind of overinflate his performance, I guess is where I'm going with this.
I could not disagree with you anymore on this one. I mean, in all honesty, don't get me wrong. I'm with you. I understand that kind of, I think your word of inflate things was probably true there. I mean, definitely the movie and his part probably got it.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing. It's a great movie.
But his part was amazing.
I think the movie was maybe 15, 20 minutes too long. It was just a long movie.
Well, so is this one. So is Dark Knight Rises. It's very, very long. But to me, The Dark Knight was okay. His part made it great. To me, The Dark Knight itself is just an okay movie, but Heath Ledger's performance took it over the top, made it amazing. The Dark Knight Rises, obviously Bane's part kind of took it over the top, but I mean, it was a great movie. And to me, a better movie than The Dark Knight. Just know Heath Ledger performance. And although Tom Hardy was amazing in the movie, I strongly urge you to take that couple of dollars and go see it in the movie theater. And if you want to take a couple more dollars, go see it in IMAX, because from what I understand, in IMAX, it's absolutely unbelievable.
Would you say you would go see it again, or?
Oh, I would go see it today. I would, if they walked in right now and asked me to go see it, I would go see it again right now. It's that good.
Well, I mean, I thought about going to see it, but right now I have some other movies that I want to see, and we'll talk about some of the upcoming movies here in a second, but the one I really want to see is The Bourne Legacy. I've seen all the Bourne movies in the theater, except for the first one. I believe the franchise was kind of a sleeper. When I first originally heard Matt Damon playing in an action movie, I literally giggled thinking how funny that sounded.
Right.
When I saw The Bourne Identity, when it was over, I couldn't wait to play it again. It was a phenomenal movie. Car chases, the acting was fantastic. Just the concept of the special agent. And it's basically the U.S. version of James Bond, only with action. And it was fantastic. And the Bourne Ultimatum was fantastic. I mean, all these movies were fantastic. I can't get enough of them. And now the Bourne Legacy comes out, and I heard that Jeremy Renner was playing as another operation. He was playing as another agent, and they weren't going to have Matt Damon in the movie. They're going to reference him. So I was disappointed. I really, really thought he was going to be in it. And I told myself, you know what? I'm not going to go see it because they're going to ruin it.
Well, yeah, that was the question that I was going to ask you. Without Matt Damon, that doesn't scare you off. That's something that doesn't.
At first, I thought it would, and then I saw some of the trailers and saw what it looked like, and I guess I have to stay true to the series. I really want to see this movie. Jeremy Renner looks really good in it after watching the trailer for it. You have some of the other characters coming back. Scott Glenn's reprising his role as Ezra Kramer. Albert Finney's coming back as Dr. Herbert Hirsch. See, you have Edward Norton's going to be playing Eric Byer. He's basically as an antagonist in the film. I mean, you have Jeremy Renner. He's from The Hurt Locker. He also plays in the summer's big blockbuster movie, The Avengers. It looks fantastic. I mean, you have a lot of,
Well, yeah, I'd go see it just for Ed Norton.
oh, you really like Ed Norton?
I love Ed Norton.
The only person I don't see, I'm looking at the lineup of cast right now. I don't see a certain female that I really loved in all three of the other movies.
Okay.
Honestly, her name's is escaping me right now. It's gonna bother me until I find it. Usually, you can find everything on Google.
Here's my thing though. Bourne, series, I guess now. Is it almost coming? Is this one right here? Since it doesn't have Matt Damon, is it coming off as almost cash greedy? I mean, is it coming off as almost unnecessary? I mean, what happens if this one just stinks? I mean, cause like you were just talking just a second ago, they have been great movies. Some people, I've spoken to a few people where, the excessive use of the shaky cam can kind of irritate people.
I don't know. Maybe, I guess
because I know you're a person that doesn't like that either.
It doesn't bother me because you get used to it and you don't really pay attention to it because it's an action movie where you expect that kind of visual that they're giving you. That's why I think it's fantastic the way they set these movies up, because they have a director for all the action. They have a director for the chase scenes. They always have phenomenal chase scenes in these movies, and they film all over the world. You can't fake that. You just get the atmosphere when you film somewhere else. By the way, Julia Stiles, who plays Nikki Parsons.
Oh, there you go. Sure.
I can't say that. Julia Stiles is.
You like
that?
Oh,
yeah. She's something, all right. She's fantastic. She's beautiful, but she's not in the lineup for this movie as well. So I'm sure they're gonna. Now, of course, they left it open, saying that Matt Damon was not the only agent out there. There are others, and of course they keep upgrading the program, so I guess that's where they're going with this one. They left it open where they could do another Bourne movie with Matt Damon. Matt Damon said he would do another movie as long as it was with all the same directors. Fight sequence, the fight choreography, the chase director, and of course the original director. Now this movie doesn't have the original director, so I don't know if that had something to do with him not being part of this project. I will definitely go see it, and of course on the next show after I see it, I'm going to talk about it just like you talked about The Dark Knight. But I'm definitely going to see this movie, and I will let everybody know whether I think it's worth it or not. But it doesn't come out till August 10th, so.
Here's my question, Zach, and I'm just wondering now, because forever we kind of assumed that the Bourne series everybody went to see it, although great, that it was because of Matt Damon, that's kind of what brought everybody there. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, maybe it's not. I mean, is it just that damn good that it has nothing to do with Matt Damon at all? I mean, I just kind of think that the hate's gone a little too far at this point with.
I'm going to make you watch the movies now, right?
Oh, sure. But here's the thing. So many people, when it first came out, including myself, I'll say this straight out. When I first saw the previews at the movies, it was me and my two older kids. I can't remember what movie we were watching. The previews came out and they literally about jumped out of their seat. I'm still sitting there like, what? It doesn't even have Matt Damon. But now I'm thinking that the hate's gone a little too far, even on myself. Then I'm thinking, okay, maybe it won't.
And you haven't
be
even
that bad.
seen most of the other movies.
I've seen, clips. I've seen, if the boys are up there watching it, I'll come in. But me, I don't know. They just never appealed to me. All the, I was late on the 24 train with Kiefer Sutherland. I never watched it until 5 years after it went off the air. So I'm always behind.
I watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of TV shows after they're off the air. Right. And the best part about it is you can watch them all at one time. You don't have to wait for the next season to happen. You just keep watching, and that's what I kind of like about that. So that's why I'm in no hurry to see some of the shows that have already come out, because I just watch them on Netflix or something.
But the biggest question with the Bourne, though, is if this movie fails, does it taint the series, though? Has it that's been where I think to where it's enough? I mean, like, you did the 3, it's over, Damon's not going to do it anymore, don't add anyone else, it's finished, it's done. Does it taint it if this bombs right now?
And that's a good question. In my opinion, no, because they leave themselves open for, if this movie bombed, then obviously having those individuals play this character and doing this didn't work. Now we're going to go back to the other line and go back with Matt Damon in the Bourne series. That's why they said he wasn't the only one. And when they did interviews, I watched an interview with Jeremy Renner saying that he's a big fan of the movies. Of course, you would expect him to say that. I've never once heard somebody badmouth the director How many times have you heard an actor come off a movie and say, I couldn't fucking stand working for this guy. He sucked. You don't hear that. But honestly, I can't see how he wouldn't like the movies or he wouldn't take the project. So he said he liked the previous movies. He thought the movies were great. We'll see if this one does well. But if it doesn't, Matt Damon already said he didn't say no that he would never do it again. He just said he was waiting for another script that was more focused on what he was looking for, and he wanted to keep the director he was working with in the past. So I think if this one doesn't do well, it's basically just reboot back to the other lines, like having another timeline to hit on. How many times can you make Spider-Man over? How many times can you keep making all these other movies over? People just keep going until they find a formula that works.
Sure.
So,
by the way, that comes out on August 10th. So if any of our listeners actually see this before we do the next show, make sure you go to thestatementshow.com, click on the Contact Us link, and drop us a line. Let us know what you thought of it. Send us an email.
Absolutely.
Let us know what we got going on.
Yeah, just some of the just so we can hit upon. We'll do a quick hit here. I want to do a couple upcoming movies coming out in August here. This is courtesy of MovieInsider.com. This is where I got the information from. So definitely go to MovieInsider.com and look at some of these. But Friday, August 3rd, which is kind of going backwards a little bit, but Total Recall is supposed to be coming out. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days, which, by the way, is some of my daughter's favorite books and movies. So I know she'll probably end up wanting to see this movie.
I'll be there.
Total Recall, by the way, reboot again of Arnold Schwarzenegger's movies, which I'm sorry, but I'm a big fan of his, and there's some things you just don't do over again. I'll see this movie, but it'll probably be on a DVD. Wednesday, August 8th, you have Hope Springs with Tommy Lee Jones. Not my cup of tea, but I'm putting it out there so any of the female fans can go see it. Let us know how it is.
Yeah.
August 10th, Bourne Legacy. August 17th, The Expendables 2. Definitely looks good. Let's see, you got Stallone, Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, Chuck Norris.
Keep it. It doesn't matter. There's so many people. I think we'd be all podcast talking about
exactly. I mean, I would love to get one of these guys on the show, and I definitely would. I'm not above trying, just in case everybody wants to keep check. I will try to get somebody from there on here to talk about it. Also, one of the other movies, Paranorman. Another one that my daughter wants to see. It looks like kind of like a CG animation type movie, but this is actually kind of funny. I'd like to go see it with my daughter. It
doesn't look bad.
Another non-cup of tea movie for me is Sparkle with Whitney Houston, Jordan Sparks, and Mike Epps. And
I have
Friday,
never heard of it.
August 31st, The Possession, a horror movie that I wanted my wife to go see with me, and she's basically said absolutely not. So that looks like one I'll have to probably end up going seeing with my brother or somebody. But it looks fantastic, really scary. So definitely go to the site. I mean, go to MovieInsider.com. It gives you links to watch the trailers, and it also will tell you where some of IMAX theaters are. I've yet to see an IMAX or a 3D movie, and the Bourne Legacy might be my first, or maybe I'll go check out The Dark Knight. It depends on my schedule and see how it goes. These movies all look great. They're big budget movies, and these movie studios bank a lot. So you can expect these summer movies to either really deliver or really let down. You have anything else you want to add?
Well, as funny as this may sound, you know what, man? I was looking on TMZ, saw this crazy thing on Warren Sapp that he's having a bankruptcy blowout auction on all his Air Jordans. They say this man had 240 pairs of Jordans.
Do you think he wore all those?
You know what? I don't know, but here's the thing. I don't even know. I don't know. Because it says somewhere. I couldn't imagine
buying somebody's stinky ass shoes. I would never want to wear some.
Some are untouched.
Yeah.
I don't know why. What the hell do you need with 240 pairs of Jordans? Now, don't get me wrong. Look, hey, Warren, send them to Pennsylvania. I'll take them. I have no issues. But it only works if you're a size 15. So unfortunately, I need a couple of sizes bigger than you. I'm not a size 15, but hey,
well, you know what they say, the size of the shoe.
Right.
Big
Either
socks.
way.
Anyway.
You know what? Give me those Air Jordans, Warren Sapp. Give me a call, man.
We were going to bring this show to the close. We're getting ready to turn the lights out. Another episode of The Statement Show. We appreciate you listening. You need to go back to our website at thestatementshow.com. Send us an email if you have a question or even want to be a guest on the show. Maybe we can have you on. go ahead and click on one of our links and help support the show, or the website. We do blog entries if you want to go back and check us out and see some of the opinions we have on the current affairs or news or stories that we happen to be talking about at the time. And also, Terry, I think there was something you wanted to mention. You also are a little bit of an author now, are you not?
Oh, wow, you threw that out. I am. I actually I wrote a book on fantasy football. It's if you go to Amazon, type in the Ultimate Fantasy Guide to Fantasy Football, made simple, pick it up. It's running for about $4.99 right now. It's we've had some success on it, had some good reviews on it, and
now this is an electronic book. This is an ebook, right?
Right, that's correct. It is an ebook. I did not do it in paperback. I just did it in ebook. But yeah, thank you for mentioning that. I appreciate it, and I would love to do some more. It was for whatever reason, is always something that I wanted to do. To write a book. And let me put it like, let me stop right now. I'm not going to try to inflate this any more than what it is. It is not a book. Okay. It's a guide. Okay. A book would be something that, that Stephen King or one of those are novels, I am nowhere near to that level. I will say this though. I have always loved fantasy football, had many years of experience with fantasy football. I wanted to bring what my tips, my secrets, what I think, could help out other people, maybe just beginning, or maybe just some owners that have never really won, have been close and just need a little bit of help. I've got a lot of things in there, and I hope that you guys take a look at it.
You heard the man. Go check out his Ultimate Guide to Fantasy Football. Make sure the author is Terry James. Go check out our website at thestatementshow.com. Send us an email at thestatementshow@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of us, maybe be a guest on the show, go click on some of our links to help support the show. We will be having guests on the show, more guests. Thank you, and we're getting ready to turn the lights out here on another episode.
Warren Sapp, call me.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of The Statement Show. If you have any comments or concerns or would like to be a guest on the show, go to our website at thestatementshow.com. Click on the Contacts tab or send us an email at thestatementshow@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at #TheStatementShow.